Exactly.
We talk a lot about networking on this show.
Yeah.
But that's an angle I haven't heard before.
Yeah. So when we moved to Florida for my wife's job, and I got out of golf, and I started with New York Life, and then eventually went over to MetLife, and figured out that I'm not that good at sales. So
golf is fine, but
if we were out on the golf course and I was talking to somebody and trying to help them with their correct decision, that's great. But if we're sitting in an office with a suit on, it's probably not my niche.
Same business, different day.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast. I am your host, Zeke Corley. We've made it a mission to congratulate business owners for their success, dig into the lessons that they've learned from their journey so that our listeners can soak up that wisdom. Now, we've got another special guest for you today, so notes should be taken. A man that has dabbled in many fields and could have decided he was comfortable enough to stop years ago, but no. Still taking risks. He's not only gotten into a new field, but is currently expanding on that enterprise. But first, let's talk about the early years of Mr. Stephen Wright.
How are you?
How are you? I'm glad you're here, man.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
taking the trip up from San Diego. I mean, you hopefully you came when the traffic wasn't too bad. So
not too bad.
Where'd you grow up, Steve?
Grew up just outside Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. I don't know why I thought Michigan.
Now, my wife is from Michigan, so maybe that's where that came from. But no, I'm a Philly guy.
Okay.
Yep.
And what was that like growing up?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Family atmosphere?
Family's great, a lot of neighborhoods. Everybody, it was kind of more of a neighborhood atmosphere than, some other places that I've been to. But it was great. Yeah.
Okay.
Great sports.
Sports. And you're a big sports guy,
great
too.
Sports.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've got fanatics, right?
Yes.
Did they invent the term fanatic?
I don't know.
The Philly fanatic, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you a sports fan across the board? You like the football and the baseball, and I know they've got great teams.
Yeah, for the just being from there, you're pretty much a Philly fan.
You have to be.
Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies. You kind of have to be.
You guys going to do with Ben Simmons?
I don't know yet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You've been following it,
though,
right? Yeah. It's a little nerve-wracking. It's got to be. I mean, he's a great player.
He's a great player that apparently doesn't like to shoot when the game's on.
He might like to shoot, but can he make it?
Well, I mean, he's like they say before the game, he'll sit out there and he'll shoot all day long, and it's
a lot of guys,
it's pretty good. And then I think he just gets a little nervous.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about golf.
Okay.
And so when we do talk about golf, I mean, I imagine that you understand that. I mean, because we'll talk about your golf experience.
Yep.
But just like the fact of practicing one way, but that peace of mind it takes to actually hit the free throw when everybody's screaming at you and the big shot comes.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was out of college, I was a field goal kicker in college. So I've got a pretty funny story to relate to this. So I took my nephew said he wanted to learn how to kick field goals. So he was playing soccer and he had a strong leg and he wanted to kick field goals. So took him to the Pitt, West Virginia football game out in Pittsburgh because I went to West Virginia and that was a huge rivalry. So we're out there at the game, and the Pitt quarterback is struggling a little bit. And I'd known somebody who was a Pitt supporter, so we got seats pretty much right behind the bench. And as the quarterback was struggling, people were kind of yelling and complaining about him to the coach, but they were booing him as he would come off the field, and he would hear that. Yeah. And so we were sitting there, and my nephew's watching this the whole time, and the West Virginia kicker goes to run out on the field, and he's got to kick a 45-yard field goal. And he kicks it, and he makes it, and the whole part of Pitt Stadium, the Pitt portion gets real quiet, and the West Virginia portion gets real loud. So after the game, I look at my nephew, and I said, well, you have to want to be the guy that goes out there, whether you make it or miss it, but you have to be the guy that wants to do that. And I said, if you want to do that, I'll teach you how to kick field goals. I said, if you don't want to do that, keep playing soccer. I mean, it's fine. It's fine either way. I said, I always wanted to be the guy that go out there and make it or miss it. You're either going to be right or wrong. And he kept playing soccer. After that experience. So
you can understand that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But there's a part where you have to. Same thing with Ben Simmons. You either have to be the guy that wants to make the foul shot, or you pass it off instead of dunking it. Like in the playoffs.
Okay, so you guys have heard it here first. Stephen Wright says Ben Simmons doesn't have a heart.
I did say that.
How about early influences for you? You probably had some good influences coming. I mean, because you just, you're talking about the good lesson that you just taught. There were I'm sure some lessons taught to you as you were growing up. Who were influences for you?
Well, definitely my parents.
Okay.
They were always supportive, but steered me in the right direction. I would think for the most part.
Okay.
My dad was a really good athlete growing up. He played Temple. He played baseball at Temple. They actually made it to the College World Series that year. He hit a home run. So
all right.
He may be still the only player from Temple baseball to ever hit a home run in the College World Series.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
They didn't win?
They got third.
Okay.
So he'd always given me kind of like the work ethic when it came to sports, how to practice, how to do different things.
You were real serious about sports.
Yeah. I played 5 sports in high school. So yeah, it was pretty, my parents were busy taking me around and, and they were super supportive. You'd always, my mom would show up at every soccer game in high school and, she'd be yelling from the sidelines and, so it was great. Yeah. So they definitely, gave me kind of the work ethic and kind of what to look for in the future.
It's interesting that you correlate sports with work ethic. George Coltrane, a past guest of ours, he kind of had that same, he put that together the same way. And I'm still kind of interested why you look at it that way, because not everybody does. But I think I understand, but I think for the audience that they might want to understand.
Yeah,
now, I understand it might be teamwork. There's leadership. There's numerous ways or reasons why you would call it, work ethic, even though you're talking about sports.
Yeah, I mean, for me, even now, when I talk to my team, and I always call them a team. So every morning I put out this, message with the sales goal on it, and every morning it's team. It's always going to be team. And to me, that's just the way that I grew up and I learned. There was nothing individual. If I was trying to do something myself, it's probably not going to work as well as, if I have some help, for things that I may not do as well as other people do, so it just depends on, who's on my team or, how can we lead the team to be successful.
I love it. I think that's great. So how about early jobs? At some point you had to take that work ethic and turn it into an actual job, right? Did you remember your first jobs?
First jobs one didn't work out real well. I was a busboy for probably 3 weeks.
Why didn't it work out?
I was just too busy. Like I said, I played so many sports that, the nights that I was supposed to be there, just didn't quite correlate. Then once I got into my first serious job, I would say I started working at a golf course in Philadelphia. It was my junior year in high school, and I wound up working there from my summers from my junior year in high school until after I got out of college. And then I turned pro as a golf pro at that course. So
that's why that was the most important job.
That was probably one that really stood out, as more of my first than.
What did you do at the golf course? What were you doing?
Pretty much everything. So I started out as a junior. As soon as I got my driver's license, I was able to clean carts, get back, clean bags. So it's basically
starting from the bottom.
Oh yeah. You start out as a cart boy. After a year or so, they moved me into the golf shop, and I was basically a cashier. It was a very busy public golf course, so you're constantly checking people in and taking money, and from there it evolved to more responsibility in the golf shop, and different. Not so much a management role, but more of a kind of a leadership role with all the people, because everybody was the same level. And then after I graduated college, I played in one more amateur event and then turned pro, and I was an assistant pro at Cobbs Creek Golf Course till the end of the year. So from June until December.
So this whole time, though, you're getting to play for free. You're involved. You get to see all of these other people and play with these other people on your days off and so forth.
Yeah, and
right?
really see what the business is. And it went from I was in junior in high school and just playing, and I played on the high school team, and I'd play a little bit, but I wasn't super serious. And then I went to college, and I played football in college, so there wasn't a whole lot of time for golf, and except for the summer times, and I'd play a little bit more.
The Same Business Different Day podcast is brought to you by YourInsurancePlace.com. YourInsurancePlace.com is a conglomeration of two agencies, Network One Insurance and Bill Corley Insurance Agency. Their property and casualty agents and brokers specialize in commercial insurance of all types, general liability, workers' compensation, professional liability, auto, agribusiness, and much more. They also have great insurance carriers for your homes and autos. How do I know they are that good? Because I'm one of the agents. We believe in ourselves, and you will too. Contact us at yourinsuranceplace.com or call us direct at 866-384-0479. That's yourinsuranceplace.com.
Hi. I'm Jeff Fox, founder of Star Fox Media. We are a digital marketing and video production company that focuses on serving small businesses here in Vista, California. We have the team and all of the equipment necessary to produce, film, edit, and distribute your podcast to as many people as possible. For more information, you can reach out to us via email at info@starfox.media or give us a call at 760-385-3117. Let Star Fox Media help you tell your brand story today.
North County Daily Star is the leading source for news and community information along the 78 corridor. It's free to subscribe and it is updated daily. Look for us on your mobile device or computer at ncdailystar.com.
But the whole time I saw what the business aspect of golf was, and how people can enjoy recreation but make it a business. So I actually went my freshman year in college, I was an engineering major. And wound up with a good GPA after my freshman year. I went back to the golf course to work, and at the end of that year I changed my mind. I said I don't want to be an engineer, I want to be a golf pro. So I turned to a sports management major, which I think my parents, I'm not sure they were that thrilled because they didn't know what that meant at the time.
Sure. Okay.
But since then it worked out. But it really working there, kind of figuring out what it could be, that there are actually jobs out there that recreationally, other people can enjoy, but you're working and you're just enhancing that, that experience.
I love that. A recreation for some is a business for others.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. Tell us more about college before we get into talking about being a golf pro.
Okay.
West Virginia, you said, right?
West Virginia University. Yep. Spent 4 years there. It was great. Great time. Great place to go to college.
Why?
Because that Morgantown, at least at the time, it's gotten a little bit bigger, but at the time was all that's there is the college. Campus.
Okay.
So, you could walk home at 4 a.m., from wherever you wherever you were that night, and not have a problem. It was
it's a college
contained.
Town. It's a legitimate college town.
Yeah, and it's still that way, but the attendance has grown. The students, there's more students there, so there's more stuff going on. But it's still a college town. Great place to spend 4 years.
And sports management is what you studied till you finished.
Yeah, they were one of the originals that had that program. Now the program's pretty widespread.
You see it a lot.
But back when I'm getting older at this point. Back when I was there, there weren't too many sports management programs, so it worked out good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about okay? So now back to being a golf pro.
Yep.
Now, what's that experience? Now this is happening while you're in college. Is that correct?
No, I mean, I didn't turn pro until afterwards because, as young as I was, I thought I was going to the NFL.
Okay.
I'm going to be a place kicker and I'm going to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
I thought I was pretty good.
Now, how many sports were you playing in college?
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah,
just the football?
Just football.
Okay. And you were going to be the place kicker in the NFL?
Yeah. And I never wound up starting. I backed up two guys that wound up in the Pro Bowl in the NFL.
Okay.
So it was kind of, I don't know if it was bad timing or what, but it was an incredible experience.
Did you get to kick some big fun kicks? Any of the dramatic ones?
Not in college. I didn't actually get in any of the games in college, but it was an interesting experience. And I go back to sports all the time because for that, I was sitting there one time with my roommate who was a punter. He was also a backup punter, and we'd sit there and you'd just watch how we got, I won't say treated, but our level of exposure versus the starting quarterback who came walking in, and how the coaches react differently. And I'm like, this is kind of like in a corporation where you got the CEO comes walking in, and we're kind of down here in the mailroom at this point.
Yeah.
But it was great. Yeah, it was a great experience. I got some great teammates, and it was fun.
It seems like it would make more sense, and I don't know, it's just talking just from a manager standpoint, to put the starting field goal kicker with the backup punter, and then put you with the starting punter.
Yeah.
That would have been like a dynamic that would help all ties rise.
Well, I think it also turned out because of just years in college. So, the people that were already starting were older than us, and we kind of met as freshmen, and it's just one of those. It's kind of organic.
Unless you're just some superstar freshman. Okay, so now the golf pro thing.
Yep.
Tell me what that experience is like. I mean, you'll be the first.
Okay.
I have had another guest on here who's, or a couple of guests that are big avid golfers.
Uh-huh.
But, and one I actually wanted to connect you with, and I haven't had a chance to yet. Okay. But he's a restaurant owner in San Diego, Tony Lloyd Cono from Park House Eatery. He's not too far from you. But you went pro. I mean, how do they even announce that to you? What is that?
Well,
what's that experience?
It's kind of, and I was a club pro, which is different than somebody that plays on tour.
Okay.
So I taught lessons. I eventually was the head pro at a high-end private club in the Philadelphia area.
Okay.
For 10 years, and what that basically is you're running the club. The golf club.
I get it.
From the golf end. So you basically take care of all of anything that has to deal with golf except the grass. Okay. You've got a superintendent that takes care of the grass and, the grounds. Mm-hmm. But if you're running a tournament or if you're running, if you're teaching lessons or, having people go out to play, you're hiring a staff. At one point with our caddy program, I think we had 100 people working on the golf staff at a time. So it's a pretty big operation. It's a lot of time.
Okay.
And it's a lot of time working for other people. So, especially in the Philadelphia area, you've got about 7 really solid months of golf, and then it stays busy until December, with Christmas shopping, because you still have to supply, you have to buy all the stuff for the golf shop and make sales in the shop. So there's a retail aspect of it. There's a teaching aspect of it. There's operations with running the tournaments. And then the biggest thing that I always go back to is the customer service portion of it. So you're basically trained in what I consider high-touch customer service. And that's what happens is most of the times it's business owners, CEOs, lawyers, doctors coming in, and they're expecting the best service.
Level of,
because they're used to that. And it's just different ways to think of it. So I've always looked at it from the beginning as, high touch customer service, because you're walking them through the whole process. And some people, like anything in life, some people require less attention, some require more, but you got to be.
And some people will complain either way.
Yeah. And you just got to be aware of which one is walking through the door.
Yeah.
So, the more service you give to them, the happier people are. And, it's a sport, so people should be out there having fun and enjoying themselves. And it's their recreational time. So it's like, hey, I just had enough of this at the office. I just want to go play golf.
Right.
So it was a good learning experience when it came to customer service. And then all the other stuff, the sports part of it, the teaching. My favorite part was running tournaments, and then, teaching when someone would come in and be like, wow, I just shot the best score.
Still a lot of logistics, though, and running the tournaments, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, and then it turns into, it's a 6-day-a-week job normally, and for about 4 months, it's 7 days a week. So, like, even in the wintertime, you're there 6 days a week, just making sure things are up and running, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's busy.
Yeah. So how many years did you do that?
15.
Damn.
Yeah. I was an assistant for 5, and then I was a head pro for 10. So I worked at the place I became the head pro eventually for 4 after the public golf course. And then I went to Plainfield Country Club in New Jersey, which is a top 100 course. And I was there for about a year. And then the person who was at the old club I was at left, and, I wound up getting that job.
I took over.
Yeah.
Love it. So now you went into other fields, though, as well, before you got into the business that you're doing now.
I did, yeah. Pretty much after you get out of golf, everybody goes into insurance sales, which is kind of funny.
Why?
Because they think that you're going to be able to sell while you're on the golf course, and you're going to make relationships.
It's a network
and everything. Yeah, exactly.
We talk a lot about networking on this show.
Yeah.
But that's an angle I haven't heard before.
Yeah. So when we moved to Florida for my wife's job, and I got out of golf, and I started with New York Life, and then eventually went over to MetLife, and figured out that I'm not that good at sales. So
golf is fine, but
yeah. Like if we were out on the golf course and I was talking to somebody and trying to help them with their correct decision, that's great. But if we're sitting in an office with a suit on, it's probably not my niche.
That's a different story. Yeah, but I mean, okay. So tell me how that works, because I'm not a big golfer, right? I won't say I'm horrible at golf, but I'm not going to stand next to you on a golf course. That's for sure. But what I'm wondering is, a lot of people do talk about the networking on a golf course. Are people really talking business out there?
Not so much business as much as relationships.
Sure.
And that's when it comes back to, hey, I really liked playing. Yeah. You're going to spend 4 hours with somebody uninterrupted, and they're either going to like you or they're not. So if they get to like you, then it's like, well, what do you do? And I always, was even taught by a guy that was a golf pro that actually turned into a good insurance person.
Okay.
And he was like, don't say anything about business until the end.
Yeah.
The first time you just give him your card, say, hey, I'd love to play with you again. And you give him a card, and, it comes back to.
I'm with that, right?
I'm
networking. I love networking.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with that. But what confuses me is why he wouldn't go and play golf with somebody else tomorrow. And I mean, I understand you built your relationship, but he has that same experience.
Yeah, and that's
right?
and there's that definite,
or he already knew somebody, he's already comfortable where he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the aspect of networking. I think that's amazing. That's the whole reason why I'm involved with the Chambers of Commerce the way that I am. But and building relationships. But I've always been, intrigued by how those relationships are built on the golf course during all this time, don't talk during my backswing kind of thing. Like, okay, so when are we talking? And if we're talking, we're probably just kicking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
then it actually happened that I wound up getting the job after insurance, as I'm realizing that's probably not for me, and I probably need something a little bit more operational.
You did get some experience though in the insurance industry.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Yeah. Between insurance and then the financial aspect of it really helped me, and it's helped me understand. I got licensed in. I'm trying to remember the license. So I had a 6 and a 63 license.
Okay.
So I got to learn stock market more, and different types of investments and different things through that. So that's kind of helped me personally in the future.
Right.
And it's not that I've helped anybody since then, but like myself,
you've helped yourself
and my wife.
Hey, you get that education and you use it to your advantage.
But I also understand like different things when it comes to long-term care insurance, or I have had some questions about that recently. So I can kind of guide people who don't have any idea what it is.
Sure.
So that was good. But then when I was looking to get out of the insurance, I actually got my job as operationally through a guy I was playing with on Saturday. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I think I'm going to start looking. And he's like, "I've got a client who's looking to play more golf and looking to slow down with his business, and I can connect the two of you." And he had a home automation. He still has a home automation business in Fort Lauderdale. But it's actually globally, because he's got people in Michigan and everywhere else. And I wound up becoming the COO for his company. So that way, that took some stress off of him from a day-to-day stuff, because he's a master electrician and he loves the gadgets. We used to do really cool stuff to homes. I think our average size new build home was like 10,000 square feet in Florida. So it was really high end stuff, and it was really nice and really cool. And that was his forte, and then I would come in and,
work with the people,
run the office and run the guys, and, make sure that everything got done the way it's supposed to get done.
Yeah.
So that was a really neat experience. And I got that from the golf course. And I was with him for, I think, 3.5 years before.
So the networking pays off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Before we moved to California, San Diego.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you were telling me even recently, about the business that we'll talk about in a few minutes, that you just met somebody who sold the business to someone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
who sold the business to you, right? So there's always these connections out there, and just being out on the course. What's that like though? Come on, paint a picture for me, for somebody who's never going to really just hang out on the golf course.
I don't.
You enjoy it. You still play to this day.
Yes. Yeah. After I got out of golf, I didn't play for about 1.5 years. I was kind of burned out on it after I got out of the business.
Okay.
And then I started to play a little bit more. I would play like once every other month, and then I started to play a little bit more, and then my wife and I joined a club in Florida when I really started to get back interested in it. And now it's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So I can go out and enjoy myself, and it's it's a lot more fun playing now. And actually now I'm playing probably at least twice a week. Sometimes if I can sneak out, depending on what's happening that week, I'll go out a third time, but I'll practice a decent amount. So
love it.
I'm actually playing better than I probably was as a golf pro. So
that's awesome.
It's good.
That's awesome. Let's do the reveal.
Okay.
A man that took his early lessons and invested them into his future. Now the owner of Spa Eco Chateau, a premier spa in San Diego County, Mission Valley, Sorrento Mesa, and soon to be a third location in Otay Ranch. This isn't your ordinary massage parlor. Steven's Spa includes services such as detoxes, colon hydrotherapy, infrared sauna and body wraps, and more. Self-health is self-wealth, and I can tell you that I've worked with Spa Eco Chateau for years. They are a leader in self-care and healthy living. And they are all about giving their clients an experience they'll never forget. Thanks again, Steve, for being here.
No problem.
Yeah. Appreciate it. So let's talk about changing professions, taking the leap, right? You not only went and bought this business, but you moved in order to buy this business, right?
Well, what happened was we moved from my wife's job. Again, we moved from Fort Lauderdale to San Diego. And I was looking around and looking for a job. And at the same time in Fort Lauderdale, we were looking to invest in something too. So it's always caught my eye that I've always wanted to run my own business. And then we get into San Diego, and
you've always wanted to run your own business.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Like when did that start?
Like even when I was a golf pro, each year. So there are different ways how clubs run. So either the golf pro owns the golf shop and everything is his responsibility, or the club owns it. And the club I was at, the club always owned it. But each year when my contract came up, I asked to own the golf shop.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things I just wanted a little bit more control over.
Sure.
And some of my team members may say I'm into control.
Okay.
And I need to know what's going on all times.
That. Yeah.
But anyway, so then when we moved out here, I was looking for a job, and I was considering getting back into the golf industry since, all of the major manufacturers are in Carlsbad, and, you got most of the golf industry is in this area. But at the same time, I kept looking around as to what else we might do. And I found Eco Chateau. It was up for sale at the time.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I looked at it, and I was like, well, it's a spa. And my wife loves spas, so.
Okay.
No, but that's not why we did. That's not why we did it. But it was something that I started to look into a little bit more seriously, and to me, it goes back to the high touch customer service. So.
Okay.
I'm basically running a business, and if you correlate it to the golf, if you bring it back to the golf, it's. People are spending, disposable income to relax and enjoy themselves. Mm-hmm. Whether it's golf or a spa, it's just a different product.
Agreed.
And with that being my background, I was like, this is something that interested me right away. And then look further into it, and the wellness portion really caught my eye. And then once you add the wellness to the spa, and then it's called Eco Chateau for a reason. It's based on sustainability.
Love it.
So you've got the spa portion, and then the wellness and the sustainability, and it was really something that both my wife and I got super interested in right away.
Can you define those real quick for us? The wellness and the sustainability.
Define it.
Yeah. What do you mean by wellness, and what do you mean?
So
by
wellness it's more of a
I know
ours is more on detoxing, and like our infrared saunas are different than just a normal sauna that you'd have in a gym.
Right.
We work with skincare, colon hydrotherapy. A lot of people that do come into our spa may have some type of illness that they're trying to help, or some aches and pains that they're trying to help. So it's really something that we can help people more than just make them relax.
Just the massage. Right.
So it's much more than that. Like we even have a program, it's called our TLC for the Big C program. And what that is it's if you're going through cancer treatments at the time. We offer like what our monthly wellness membership is, for free, just so you can, you get through it in whatever way you can. And some people use it for different reasons. Some people will come in for saunas, because it's going to help them detox with their cancer, or, some people just want a massage because they're going through so much stuff that they just want to relax. And, it's a program that I'm really proud of that we do.
I love it.
It's been expanded recently. So it's something that we can help give back while we're, in the spa industry.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the sustainability.
We do as much as we can to lower our carbon footprint. We've got, solar energy in Mission Valley. We've gone almost completely paperless when, computers work.
Yeah, right.
Like even our, our waivers and any contracts that you fill out are on, on iPads now.
Yeah.
And, we try and use, we use all compostable cups and straws, and like fully compostable.
Eco.
Yeah.
I love it.
The Filmhub is the future of co-working right in downtown Vista. Get energized to go to a safe work environment that is clean and sanitized. Create video content, live stream events, and all of your marketing material in our audio and video facility. The Filmhub. Do your best work here.
What's up, San Diego? 2021 has been a year of getting back. Getting back to work, back to school, back to life. In juggling everything else, you may have found yourself in a cycle of unhealthy habits. And if so, now's the time to break free from that rut. My friends Adam and Kristen at Crossroads Juice are here to help you live a healthier lifestyle. A local company with one thing in mind: bring organic nutrition to all. They deliver 100% raw, cold-pressed organic juice and other goodies to your San Diego doorstep. While using local produce sourced from organic farmers in Southern California, Crossroads creates powerful and delicious nutrition. You'll feel energized, clear-minded, and lighter on your feet, or in my case, my bike. It's the perfect boost to get me through my day and help me recover from my rides. Not only that, it tastes amazing. And they deliver. I'm currently hooked on the juice called Hotel Del, which has fresh white peaches, lemon, ginger, and mint. If you are ready for a change and want to kickstart a healthier lifestyle or maintain what you've already started in a convenient way, try Crossroads Juice. You can find them online at www.crossroadsjuice.com. CROSSROOTS juice.com. They're hooking you, our listeners, up with a unique promo code, BUSINESS. That's right. This will get you 20% off your first order, always free delivery in San Diego with orders over $40. So now's the time to get your health back on track with this masterpiece of nature. Crossroadsjuice.com. Use promo code BUSINESS. Crossroads Juice. Do what matters. Be well, my friends. So now back to this decision, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, because you could have just built up a business from scratch. You were looking into really investing or buying a business that was already existing?
We were. Well, we actually looked into multiple things. We also looked into a couple of different franchises. But we wanted something that was going to be somewhat established, but that we could grow.
Sure.
Something that may be a little bit younger, or we could grow it. And it's I'm not really an idea guy.
Okay. I mean, because that's a daunting decision is all I'm saying, right? Because there are a lot of people out here with these grand ideas, right? They spend their time at home. They've got a few dollars in the bank, and they're saying, I think I know what's the next wave.
Correct.
Right. And then there are the other people who are like, you know what? I think I could just buy this business and
that's
turn it up.
Yeah. I'm not sure I would come up with the next big idea,
okay.
But I knew that I could take something that was maybe smaller and just grow it.
Yeah. You kick the field goal through. Yeah.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy at the end. I didn't call the first 4 plays.
I love it. Speaking of growth, though, now you turn around after all of these, year and a half of COVID. Yep. We turn around after the difficult times, and maybe you'll talk about that a little bit. But I'm really excited about the fact that you're turning into buying a third location now.
Yeah, so we were mandated closed for 191 days. So that was a bit of a struggle. But we made it through, and I'll keep everything positive
an
here.
Understatement, right?
And yeah,
don't scream at your insurance broker on the air.
And we found a good opportunity, and I think it's a good timing. We are going to open up our third location down in the Otay Ranch Town Center. It's a larger location. It has a lot of foot traffic, which our first 2 locations don't have, which we're really excited about. It's something that I think turned out we've been looking to figure out how to grow right before the pandemic hit, and then this turned out to be it's going to be a really good spot, and I'm glad that it happened when it happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be fantastic. We hope to be open, before Christmas.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a really big deal, and that's a beautiful mall down there. It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
And you have foot traffic, which is it's a good business lesson too. I mean, it's a lot of folks kind of overlook that, right? It's just like, can I find a building to put my business, and then everybody's going to come to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, especially, it may be cheaper to find a place that's maybe off the beaten path, but then you really have to work, internet marketing and how do people find you? And the previous owner that we purchased from was great with internet marketing, and people found us, and that's fantastic. Now, as we open the other one, now we'll have people walking by and seeing it. And it's also in a section of the mall that's perfect for, kind of what our mission is. I mean, we're right next to a yoga studio, and there's a fitness center. There's a Pilates studio right across the street. There's a boxing gym across the street, so it's in an area where, again, it's all about wellness, and there's a farmer's market that goes right in front of our place every Tuesday night. And, that's kind of where we find all of our retail products, because we stay local with everything that we buy. That's another part of the sustainability.
Love it.
Yeah. So we're super excited about it. Yeah.
I want to, as we get ready to wrap up, I want to just a little bit kind of, go back and talk a little bit about the COVID situation. And I understand that, it was difficult, especially for a business like yours, where it's, that you're touching, you're close contact.
Yep.
Managing, hiring and losing and rehiring employees during that time. I'd like to hear about your experience and how you handled that so well, because I know you did.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because you feel the whole, when you're mandated to shut down, you kind of have to lay everybody off, which you feel that weight that,
Sure.
You're a business owner, you're supposed to be helping these people, and you've got 28 employees that, you need to tell them, I'm sorry, but here's the best number for unemployment. That was probably the toughest part, was the first time we were shut down.
And that was the first time you had experienced anything like that since you
Yeah, I mean, any type of there was any type of layoffs was then, and then when we reopened after the first shutdown, it was timid. We had some people that didn't want to come back to work, which was totally understandable. Nobody really at that time kind of knew what was happening, and then it was like the surface. Everybody thought surfaces were an issue, and so you had to buy a bunch of extra stuff to clean. You had to do different things when it came into protocols like cleaning the room. So even we had extra time in between appointments, to clean the room differently than what we normally do. Not that we're not clean.
Sure.
But there were like special disinfectants, so we had to clean it like normal and then use extra disinfectants, and they took time to dry and different things. So we had some people that did not want to come back and do that, which was understandable. And then the second time, because then we had to close again after a couple of months, and that's really when we lost probably the most amount of staff. That we had some people that just changed industries.
Right.
It's like I'm going to get an office job where maybe I can work from home, and totally understandable. And we kept hiring people as we started back up again. But I would say for the most part we handled it pretty well. We have a great team, and I can't tell you how many people have already reached their 3-year mark with us, which is with therapists and in our industry. That's really good. Like our spa manager just hit her 7-year mark.
Wow.
On Sunday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So we really
celebrate that.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. And, the loyalty that we've had has been fantastic. And I think my wife and I have shown the same type of loyalty to anybody that works for us. So I think that has really helped us more than anything, get through the ups and downs of the 191 days.
I love it.
Who's
You're going to remember
Who's
that number. You've mentioned that number at least 3 times during this episode. I'm really glad we had the opportunity to sit down with you, Steve. This is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this was fun.
I'm glad you made it up. Thank you, and congratulations on the new location. Congratulations on the 7 years for the spa manager, and not just that, but actually really treating your employees very well, and just having a great operation. I really like what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I think everybody's super excited. We're actually, this isn't going to air yet, but we're telling the team tomorrow morning that we actually signed the lease. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't know yet, but they will by the time they see this.
Blast this out right now. No, I wouldn't do that to you. Let's give Same Business Different Day lesson number 679. There have been a lot of business lessons, and I hope you guys are picking up on them. When in the service industry, you are reliant upon your ability to satisfy the needs of those you can attract to your business. Don't think that you're an automatic success because you have the best and the most brilliant and unique list of services. And it means nothing if the people who are walking through your door aren't interested in those services. Don't forget that. Let's remember that business lesson, and let's be thankful for Stephen Wright to come down and visit us today. Really appreciate you, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same Business, Different Day. Contact info for Spa Eco Chateau at Spa Eco Chateau. That's at SPAECOCHATEAU on Instagram. You can also catch them on Facebook and Yelp, and their website is www.spaecochateau.com. Thank you for listening to Same Business, Different Day. We truly appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment on all platforms. It really helps our show. The Same Business, Different Day podcast is produced by A Different Day Radio, Star Fox Media, and James Russell.